Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia, as the Richmond Kickers prepare for home game number 2 of the 2014 season, taking on the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. I'm Mike Neville along with Mark Bushman. These two teams actually met a couple of weeks ago, as a matter of fact, with Richmond posting a 3-1 win. And Mark, as far as Pittsburgh goes, they're still looking for their first win of the 2014 season. They had their home opener spoiled last week, as a matter of fact, dropping a high-scoring 4-3 affair to Wilmington.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is a team that's always been known for their defense. In the last couple of weeks, their defense has kind of let them down a little bit. They gave up the 3 goals against Richmond 2 weeks ago. They gave up 4 against Wilmington last week in their home opener, which had a really good crowd. Collins John is unfortunately, he's suspended for 3 games because of an incident last week. Pittsburgh's reeling a little bit, but they've got talent on this team. And I think between Richmond's ability to score, Pittsburgh's ability to score, I think we're going to see a fairly high-scoring game tonight, Mike.
And how much of a revenge motive is in place here? Because, like I said, a couple of weeks ago, it was Richmond winning their home opener here against Pittsburgh, 3-1. Pittsburgh obviously wants to even the score here in this second matchup, don't you think?
Well, they're going to look a little bit different than they did 2 weeks ago. Again, Collins John is out, but Joseph Nguyen, who is a long-time, he played for Richmond last year and played very, very well. Right. One of the nominees for Players of the Year. He's playing for Pittsburgh, and he's fully fit now. He wasn't healthy 2 weeks ago. He's fully fit. He's hopefully going to play 90 for them. Brian Ownby is on loan again from Houston. Jason Johnson also from Houston. They've got lots of weapons, and I think they're just trying to find their rhythm, Mike, and they're hoping to get it going tonight. Now
the Richmond Kickers without their first loss of the season last week on the road at Charlotte, dropping a 2-1 decision in a game, Mark, that they led at the half 1-0 and had a pretty good possession, especially in the first half, but ended up dropping that 2-1 decision at Charlotte.
Yeah, it's interesting to say that after 3 weeks of the season, Richmond has as many losses as they did all of last year. They're 1-1-1, so they need to start playing a little bit better. Like I said, offensively they've done okay. They did give up that lead that they had against Charlotte last week, and that was very disappointing, I know, for Lee Kalishaw and the boys.
You saw Ryan Taylor there, who'll be the goalkeeper, of course, for the Richmond Kickers tonight, making his 3rd start of the season. In fact, his very first start in professional soccer came in that victory over Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago. Again, the Kickers picking up the 3-1 victory over Pittsburgh here at Richmond to get their home season off on the right foot. And you mentioned when Nguyen came into that contest for Pittsburgh a couple of weeks ago, he certainly brought a lot of energy to that lineup.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he did that for Richmond as well last year. He's a long-time veteran, played many years in Major League Soccer, did a lot for Richmond last year. As I said, he was one of the nominees for Player of the Year. He's one of those guys that Pittsburgh is going to need in order to try and get them going again. As I said, defensively they struggle a little bit. They got to outscore some teams that they've done what they need to do these past couple of weeks.
So it'll be Pittsburgh and Richmond coming up, and we're going to have the action for you. We'll have the starting lineups and the opening kickoff of this afternoon's contest from City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. Stay with us. And welcome back, City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia, as you look at the starters being introduced for the Richmond Kickers. Ryan Taylor will be in goal, as we mentioned. And their leading scorers so far in the young season, Michael Seaton, number 29. He has a pair of goals. And also Kyle Porter has a pair of goals as well for Richmond. They will be starting tonight along with Taylor Kemp, Jared Jeffrey, William Yambi, Connor Shinosky, Luke Vercoloni, Mike Callahan, Samuel Asante, George Davis IV. And as I mentioned, Porter and Seaton also starting for the Richmond Kickers this evening. We'll get to the Pittsburgh starting lineup in a moment, but we're going to take a little break with the national anthem here at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. So we're getting ready for the opening kickoff of this afternoon's contest. And the starting lineup for the Riverhounds of Pittsburgh, Mike Lish will be in goal with Mike Green, Danny Earls, Anthony Arena, Anthony Obadai, Kevin Kerr, Joseph Nguyen, familiar name, of course, to Richmond fans, Matt Dahlman, Brian Ownby, another familiar name to Richmond fans, Jason Johnson, and last year's MVP, of course, in the league is Ortega. For Pittsburgh, and he did pick up a goal in their season, in their home opener, I should say, last week in that loss to Wilmington, and a very dangerous player. We saw him. He had some opportunities in the early going a couple of weeks ago, Mark, against Richmond.
Yeah, I thought he did okay. I think Jason Johnson was a little bit more dangerous. Artiego disappeared for long stretches. I'll tell you what, the guy who I'm really looking forward to seeing again is Matt Dahlman, one of the leading assist guys in USL. He was a terror 2 weeks ago against Richmond. They had a really hard time controlling him, and when he was getting going, Pittsburgh was creating all kinds of opportunities.
So Richmond again looking to bounce back in the win column, and of course Pittsburgh looking for their first victory of the season, as I mentioned earlier, coming in with 2 losses to start off the season to go along with a tie. And again, Pittsburgh lost their home opener last week, 4-3, in a highly competitive game and a high-scoring contest with Wilmington. And again, Richmond picked up a 3-1 win here a couple of weeks ago against the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. And again, Ryan Taylor in goal for the Kickers, making his third start for the Kickers this season. He's given up 3 goals so far, 1.5 goals per game. So, again, he was solid. He had a big save late in that contest. If you remember, a point-blank shot, Mark, a couple of weeks ago that really, they were, at that time, I believe the score was still 2-1. Porter got a late goal to seal it for, but a big save by Taylor late in that contest, and that's what you want from your goalkeeper. You need him to make some of those big-time saves when a game is tight, and that's what he delivered a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
I'm very familiar with Ryan Taylor. When I was running a couple of PDL programs a few years ago, Ryan was our goalkeeper, and he was just unbelievable. Got all kinds of accolades in PDL. Great shot stopper. He's brought that up to USL, and he watched from the sideline last year as Andrew Dykstra had as good a season as anybody I can remember in goal in the USL. Learned a lot. Now he's the starter. A really good article in yesterday's Richmond Times-Dispatch from Victor talking about Ryan and his progression to the professional level. So, yeah, Ryan Taylor's going to play a big part in this team this year.
And the game that we had a couple of weeks ago, Ryan Hines, who of course usually does the games with us, not with us today, but he mentioned with regard to Nguyen and Brian Ownby about their fitness and about their, how fit they'll be. Ownby starting this afternoon, and of course he can get going. If he gets going, he's going to be very dangerous and hard to defend. And of course Richmond knows all about him because he was such a big player for them last year.
Ownby and Nguyen were huge for Richmond last year. Now let's see what they can do for Pittsburgh.
So we're underway as the Kickers send it past midfield. That ball is headed back by the Riverhounds. Nice little flick on. Here's Seaton. He plays it over on the near side, and it's handled there by number 33, and that is Taylor Kemp. Kemp goes to Seaton. Seaton trying to work on the defense. Drops it back to Kemp. Kemp taking a look. Now sends it over, and that ball was knocked away from Asante and out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Richmond. The kicker scored early in that game a couple of weeks ago to kind of grab momentum for the home team early. They had a 1-0 lead, and then, as I mentioned, they ended up with a 3-1 win. There's the foul that's whistled as George Davis IV went down. And the kickers have an opportunity here, Mark, on a free kick from about 30 yards, 35 yards or so. And it looks like Callahan's going to take it. And Mike is very dangerous.
Sorry, Mike, the Richmond's got a couple of big boys there that they're bringing forward. See this play over the top.
So Callahan ready with the free kick opportunity for Richmond. Sends it into the box, and that ball is flicked down by Seaton, and it actually hit a Pittsburgh player, but there was a whistle, and Pittsburgh now will get the free kick. As Mike Lish in goal. As you look at number 15, that's Kyle Porter. As I mentioned, Porter with a pair of goals in that home opener a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, Mike Lish is on loan from Houston. Hunter Gilstrap is normally the starter for Pittsburgh. He's a very good goalkeeper that's been around for a while, and he had concussion-like symptoms that he had, and he wasn't able to play 2 weeks ago for Pittsburgh. He's not in there again today, and he's a very, very good player. I know Pittsburgh would like to get him back on the field as quickly as possible.
And we've talked this before, Mark, about the protocol as far as concussions go, and you want to be very, very careful in any sport. And that's one thing soccer, I think you'll agree, in the last couple of years has done a good job of monitoring players who sustain concussions and making sure that they're fully 100% ready to get back in action.
Yeah, you do. You have that, and there's been a couple players. I won't go into their names right now because I don't think they really want to mention, but there are a couple of players for Richmond, a couple of players in USL that got concussions last year that still are not back on the field because they're still having severe headaches and things like that. So, yeah, I mean, concussions are such a big part of sports right now, and, it's good that, particularly in soccer, they're on top of that situation.
By the way, our center referee this afternoon is Ted Uncle. Hagen Barnett is the referee assistant along with Bill Dittman. So the kickers...
That was a heads-up play from Nguyen. The Richmond player didn't ask for 10 yards. Nguyen charged it, blocked it, and got a shot in on goal on that.
So now it'll be a throw-in, looks like, for the kickers, and it's going to be number 4, Vercoloni. There's a look at Luke as he throws it in for Richmond. And Vercoloni sends it near midfield. Seaton took a little bump, and there was a whistle. So now Richmond with the free kick. And Nguyen's, now he'll put it down.
The wily veteran.
Yep, a little cat and mouse game going on with Nguyen. So here's a Vercoloni controlling on the far side here at City Stadium in Richmond. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you as they play it back now.
It's our first chance at seeing Connor Shinosky this year.
Yep.
Again, another big player for Richmond last year.
Boy, Taylor he was challenged on that kick. That ball is flicked ahead by Davis the fourth, and there's a whistle. And oh no, they're going to play on. I thought I heard a whistle, but now Lish plays it for Pittsburgh, and that ball is going to be eased back. Shinosky lets it roll to Taylor in goal for Richmond. No score, just underway here at City Stadium. Richmond coming in 1-1-1 on the season, and the Riverhounds of Pittsburgh sitting at 0-2-1 on the young season. I say a young season, but it's going to get going here pretty full here in the next few weeks, obviously. And here's Vercoloni playing it ahead now. Trying to control it is Porter, and that ball's knocked away by Pittsburgh. And now Richmond is able to possess. Ball played near midfield. And out of play to be a throw-in for the Riverhounds. And the ball is played back now over to Green, and Green quickly touches it over to Arena for Pittsburgh. Nice job there by Ortega as he was able to settle it and try to find his teammate, but Richmond comes up with the loose ball now, and it's controlled by Taylor Kemp, and he rolls it over to Porter. Porter taking a look. He finds Seaton. Seaton, nice job of coming back for the ball, maneuvers around, now chips it ahead, and that ball is settled on the far side. Good defense by Pittsburgh. Oh, nice move to get free. Gets the cross in, and Kemp got a foot on it. But still possessed here by Richmond. And the ball goes out of play as number 33, Taylor Kemp, could not keep it going for the Kickers.
You know, that sequence started really well. Michael Seaton was able to put his back to goal and was able to hold on to the ball and let the Richmond player run onto it. He played a nice ball in the corner that Porter was able to get across there. There's a good sequence from Richmond there.
Yeah.
That's what you want to see from Seaton. A lot of times Seaton likes to get the ball facing goal and being able to run at defenders. What I've noticed about Seaton in the past year or so, he's gotten a lot better at putting his back to goal and holding the ball up.
And by the way, it was Jared Jeffrey that got the foot on it on that crossing attempt, not Kemp, as Pittsburgh is in possession now. And there's a steal by George Davis IV, and Davis tries to get the counter going for the Kickers. Ball's rolled over wide. Still with it. And now playing it over to Porter, and Porter sends it in right to Lish, and Lish read that perfectly and makes the easy play.
Sorry, Mike, Porter should have done better with that. The Pittsburgh defender stopped because they thought he was offside. The linesman said no, and Porter just kind of threw a ball in there. He probably could have taken a couple extra touches and moved on goal.
Green plays it ahead for Pittsburgh, and now Kemp is able to play it back to his goalkeeper, Taylor. If you remember that 3-1 victory mark a couple weeks ago, they thought that there was a handball that led to a goal by Richmond, and so Pittsburgh is notorious, at least in the game we saw a couple weeks ago, for not playing till the whistle.
You got to play to that whistle, Mike.
Yep, exactly right.
Because when you're in professional ball, whatever sport it is, you know, the other team's not going to stop.
Right. Here's Nguyen playing it off now as Pittsburgh tries to mount a attack here offensively. There's a easy call on the foul that time. Jeffrey just reached out and touched someone. In this case, the Pittsburgh Riverhound. Now the ball is played over. Dahlman now delivers it into the box, and Taylor will handle that with ease. No score here at City Stadium, Richmond, Virginia. As both teams coming in off losses are trying to get back to the winning ways. In fact, Pittsburgh looking for their first win. Here's Yambi, William Yambi. He'll play it off to Kemp.
And they had an injury scare with Yambi last week against Charlotte. He had to come out. They thought maybe he had a concussion or a shoulder injury. I can't remember which. But I know that was a lot of Richmond fans, including Lee Calishaw, kind of held their breath while he was on the ground there.
So possession now for the Riverhounds, and it's played back. Earls plays it ahead. Off to Obadai. And he rolls it over to Green. Green gets the return pass. Goes down the line, and that goes over the sideline via throw-in. I think he was trying to hook up with Ortega. Throw-in for the Kickers. Actually, it was Kevin Curry who was trying to hook up with on that pass. As you look at Taylor Kemp getting ready to throw it in for the Kickers. Second home game of the season for Richmond, and both of them so far have been against Pittsburgh.
Not used to these 5 o'clock starts either, Mike.
No.
Used to the 7 o'clock starts.
That's right. That's right. Kickers travel to Dayton a week from tonight on the 26th before returning home on a Friday night contest, May the 2nd against Rochester.
Yeah, Dayton's a very interesting club. They had not done well their first year or so in USL. They made the playoffs last year and lost a tough 1-0 game to Richmond that they were in to the very end. Actually had a chance to draw level before Andrew Dykster came up with a big save. So Dayton's not the team that I think that a lot of people might think that they've been for the last couple of years. Dayton's a good ball club.
So here's Pittsburgh in possession now. Trying to maneuver away from some pressure, and the ball is rolled over. That's number 20, that's Dahlman. And now the ball is settled. Played through nicely to Dahlman. Dahlman trying to get across, and does, but it goes right to Yambi. He patiently settles it. And settled down, though. Here's an opportunity now with possession. Nice little pass off to Dahlman. Into the box, and that ball's headed away by Richmond. Still in possession now. It's headed out of play by the Kickers. It'll be a corner kick.
And that's Matt Dahlman again with the dangerous cross. He's one of the more dangerous players, I think, in the league. Like I said, he's one of the top assist guys. So you don't want to give him an open look like that. And he had about 2 yards of space. That's all he needs to crank in a good ball. And Pittsburgh got a very good opportunity, and here he is getting ready to take the corner.
And a very nice job also by number 7, Jason Johnson for Pittsburgh. He held that ball, Mark, and was able to draw a defender to him, and he was able to flick it all over for Dahlman to get that cross into the Richmond box.
Now, we're about 10 minutes into the game, and I see Matthew Delicott starting to warm up down there on the Richmond sideline. I'm wondering if there might be a problem with Michael Seaton up top.
So here's Dahlman ready for the first corner kick this afternoon. And it is Pittsburgh that is getting awarded the corner kick. And Dahlman curls it in, and that ball, oh, and Taylor, and it's headed in. Taylor made the initial stop, and the ball popped loose, and it was headed in by Pittsburgh, and it's number 22. That's Brian Ownby. We told you how dangerous he was.
I told you how dangerous he was, and all that came from Matt Dahlman on a really, really good corner. Knocked the ball, like you said, Taylor made the initial save, but Ownby was right there. Not a good job of marking by the kickers. We are seeing a substitution. Michael Seaton is coming out after 10 yards. Injury.
Gwenya charged it, blocked it,
coming in. So
almost got
not
a
what
shot
Richmond
in on
expected
goal
coming in. Losing a guy like
Seaton.
Seaton.
A throw in, looks like for the kickers, and it's going to be number 4, Ownby is Johnny on the spot as far as getting the rebound after Taylor made a terrific little pass off to Dahlman on the initial shot. Was able to draw a defender to him, and he was able to flick it off, and that allowed the ball to stay in play. And Ownby, as you mentioned, Mark, was able to beat
now, we're about 10 minutes into the game, and I see Matt
nodded into the back of the net, and Pittsburgh is on top 1-0. Less than 12 minutes unofficially into this contest. So unlike the first meeting a couple weeks ago when Richmond jumped out 1-0, it is Pittsburgh getting out to the 1-0 lead as Delicott is coming into the contest, as you mentioned.
Yeah, I'm looking at Seaton. He's on the trainer's table right now. He's looking at his ankle. That's not good. Not only is he, like I said, obviously not eligible to come back in, that does change Richmond's game plan a little bit. And if you're DC United, you're also a little worried.
Right. So here's Ngwenya playing it back for Pittsburgh. And now Richmond trying to counter, and that ball is played back to Lish. I believe that was Obadiah that played it back to him as Lish now directing traffic. 1-0 Pittsburgh. Brian Ownby with the goal as he comes back to haunt his former team of a year ago.
Yeah, that was a really good goal from Pittsburgh. A great ball from Dahlman in, and Pittsburgh just crashes the goal. Yep. That's what you want to do. Just keep that ball alive.
Yeah,
even if you can't make the original thing, keep the ball alive, keep throwing bodies in it. That was very well done by Pittsburgh. Really, really good goal.
Unlucky for Ryan Taylor. He just couldn't quite push it over the bar. Of course, the ball, as I mentioned, stayed in play. And, of course, Ownby just nodded it in.
It was a great reflex save from Taylor because he still had an open look at it, and he was able to at least knock it up over the bar.
There's the kick. Home fans looking for a foul, and there was one.
Mandelli draws his first foul. I'm thinking he'll probably he'll draw 5 or 6 a game usually.
And Gwenya's not too happy, and the referee is saying, please step back. So here's Taylor Kemp now. Or excuse me, Jared Jeffrey. Now he's going to leave it.
And Jared Jeffrey's playing more of a holding midfielder. And according to the lineup, they had Vercoloni as the holder and Jeffrey as the outside right back, and they're not. They flipped.
So Yambi looks like he'll take this free kick. And now the official's coming over to talk to Lee Collishaw, the head coach of Richmond. Here's a look at the goal again. See that initial save, but you can see just getting inside of Porter was Ownby as he nodded it in. Great hustle by Ownby to make it a 1-0 contest. Here's Asante for Richmond. We're back with you. And here's Callahan. Off on the far side, looking for the cross. And ball's rolled, and Jeffrey plays it through. That ball is into the box, and Delicott lets Lish grab it harmlessly. That's one thing, remember a couple of weeks ago, that Richmond had great success on the flanks, getting the ball to their wings and getting crosses into the box.
Yeah, haven't really seen that yet.
No.
Mike, we had one from Kyle Porter earlier, but other than that, Pittsburgh's done a really good job defensively of being in Richmond's faces and not giving them any free time on the ball. They've done a really good job with that today.
So here's Richmond in possession. Callahan rolls it over to Yambi. He's being hounded by Ngwenya. Now he plays it back to Taylor. And Taylor and Delicott couldn't decide whether he wanted to head it or trap it, and ended up losing possession as it's controlled now by Green, and he'll play it back to Lish in the box. Lish settles. He gets some pressure and gets it away. And here's Ngwenya, Joseph Ngwenya. Leading scorer a year ago for these kickers. But he's playing for the opposition this afternoon. He's battling Porter, and he drew the foul. Joseph Nguyen, there's a good look at Nguyen. And like I said, a couple weeks ago he came in. He did not start. He's starting this afternoon, but a couple weeks ago he came off the bench and really provided a spark.
Yeah, he just wasn't fully fit
Right.
for 90 minutes,
Yep.
and these last 2 weeks have really helped him do that.
That ball's dangerously into the box, as I believe it was Dahlman that was trying to run onto that. Taylor stood his ground and was able to come up with it. Here's George Davis, the fourth.
That was some tough defending, though. Taylor Kemp got beat to the inside. He
Yeah.
got caught ball watching a little bit. Dahlman got inside of him and almost made this 2-0.
And here's possession by Pittsburgh. Here's Ortega off to Nguyen. He takes a bump from Asante, and he's going to draw the foul. Asante can't believe it. The Kickers faithful are upset about it.
It looks like Callahan's getting a talking to.
I personally thought it was a good call. I thought he kind of got his shoulder into him and knocked him down.
But-
Might have been a little embellished by
No,
Nguyen.
I think he got hit because I think what happens is any foul that starts from behind, if you're behind the player,
Right.
they're going to call that. The referees have been instructed to call that. That's what happened here. So I actually have to disagree with you, Michael. I think it was a good call. Sorry there, buddy.
Oh, I thought it was a good call. I just thought it was embellished a little bit from Mr. Nguyen.
And Denny Earls, left footer, is going to take this. Look for an in-swinger here. Let's see if Pittsburgh can do what they did last time, crash goal, see if they can get a rebound or a header.
You can see Pittsburgh on top 1-0. And here's Earls lining it up. And that ball's headed away.
It was not a good kick at all
No.
from Earls.
And now it's controlled by Green. Green plays it wide, trying to settle it down on the far side, and good pressure. And it's going to be a goal kick for Taylor. And the Pittsburgh player is not too happy about that.
Neither was Justin Evans, the head coach.
I believe that was Arena. Or actually, it was Ownby that was trying to settle that wide pass. So Taylor ready for the goal kick for the Kickers. Down 1-0. And Kickers settle it at near midfield, and a giveaway there. And now
Richmond just looks a step slow
yeah,
today, Mike.
Yeah. Here's Taylor. Oh, good fake. As he did a nice job of good composure. There's a bump and a whistle. I think that's on Odabai. Obadai kind of got his shoulder in.
That's 2 fouls that Deli's drawn and Guenya's drawn 2. What's the over-under on this one, Mike?
What'd you say, savvy veterans? Is that how you...
Wily veterans.
Wily veterans.
One's
There-
wily, one's savvy. Let's
there
go
you
with
go.
that.
Here's Callahan getting the restart going for the Kickers. Here's the ball into the box. Delicott got a head on it, but it's cleared away. And now settled by Asante. He's got some time. Goes over to Kemp. Taylor Kemp going to the end line, looking for a cross. Gets it into the middle of the
It's
box.
a great ball.
And that one, the Porter couldn't quite control. And it rolls harmlessly over the end line for a goal kick.
Really nice play from Kemp there. That's the Richmond's probably best opportunity. Porter should have done a lot better with that. He had an open header there, and he just didn't get anything behind it.
There's a look at Mike Lish, the goalkeeper for Pittsburgh. As we mentioned, Lish starting. The backup is Gilstrap, who, of course, as we mentioned earlier, dealing with concussion issues, and hopefully he's doing well. He is listed as the backup, which is good. Step in the right direction, obviously. So the Riverhounds get the throw in on the far side. Going down the line. And Johnson had it taken away. And here's an opportunity.
He's
Good
got-
ball. Here's George Davis, the fourth, trying to maneuver. Davis getting a shot away, and it's going to roll over the end line. Good defense that time, actually, by Pittsburgh, I thought.
Definition of a great counterattack there by Richmond. They had been, like I said, they've been a step or two slow all game, and all of a sudden they came out of nowhere with that one. Would like to have seen Davis move a little bit faster to goal, but that was a really good opportunity for Richmond. Kind of makes Pittsburgh, they're going to have to hold their guys back a little bit. You got somebody like Davis up there who can run, who can just blow by people. So good sequence from Richmond there. It's best of the game, I think.
And Davis has had a good start to the 2014 season. He's got a pair of goals for Richmond. As you see Lish talking to his defenders. Good recovery by Pittsburgh. They kind of shut Davis off. It looked like he was going to have a much better opportunity than he did. But again, you got to credit Pittsburgh's defenders for getting back and causing him to have kind of a weak shot that rolled wide.
And there was a yellow card issued to number 16, Danny Earls from Pittsburgh on that play. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I did see the referee writing something down in his pocket, so we knew somebody got plastic.
So here's Johnson playing it back for Pittsburgh. And the kicker is trying to control. Here's Ngwenya being hounded by Asante. Good job by Richmond, and there's a trip. Easy call. As Obadiah is whistled for that one.
Looks like we're going to get another yellow card
Here's
here.
that opportunity. You can see the defenders really, it was actually Ownby and also Mike Green did a good job of closing in on Davis, forcing him for a weak shot. As we're back, you can see how Ortega is getting into the mix for Pittsburgh.
I believe that was Obadiah that got the yellow on that one.
Our center referee, as I mentioned earlier, Ted Uncle.
And I got to be honest with you, I'm not sure that was a yellow card foul there, Mike. I don't believe Obadiah's committed a foul so far in the game. There wasn't a clear opportunity on that one. He just kind of bumped into George Davis the fourth. I didn't think. I'm sorry, Samuel Asante. I didn't see how that was a yellow card, to be honest with you.
So here's Shinosky. His pass attempt on that free kick was knocked away by Ortega. And here's Ngwenya. Nice job of hounding him and coming up with the ball for Richmond. Trying to find Porter, and it's going to be a throw in for Danny Earls for Pittsburgh. Again, the Riverhounds scoring about the 12-minute mark. Brian Ownby off a corner kick after Taylor made a nice reflex save, but couldn't quite clear it out of play. And Ownby beat the Richmond player to the ball and nodded it into the back of the goal for the 1-0 advantage. Here's Johnson now. Looking for a foul, but still playing on. Here's Dahlman playing it now off to Kerr. And Yambi got a head on that. And the kickers now. Here's George Davis the fourth, turning away from pressure. Good hustle that time by Dahlman, and that created a little panic in the back, but the kickers were able to clear it. But again, Pittsburgh now, Mark, with some pressure and some good possession time as Shinosky plays it back to Taylor, and he bangs it ahead.
Now this is where Richmond, they've got some numbers. They need to move the ball quicker here.
Here's Davis. He plays it off to Kemp. Back to Davis. Davis to Asante. USLsoccer.com. That's where you want to go for scores, stats, news, and more exclusively on USLProSoccer.com. So here's Pittsburgh now with the counter. Here's Johnson. Jason Johnson trying to tee up a shot. Well defended. Now he gets away from Vercoloni after Jeffrey was hounding him. Here's a ball put into the box. Taylor comes out and snares that in midair.
Taylor needed to do that because Dahlman had gotten inside of Kemp again and was sitting there waiting at the doorstep. Pittsburgh's done a really good job. I think what they've done between the 2 weeks ago and now, they're giving a lot of high pressure and really putting the Richmond defenders under some pressure and making some unforced errors from Richmond. So Pittsburgh's doing a lot of good things that they didn't do. I saw in the game 2 weeks ago.
Here's Callahan in possession. Goes off on the far side to Porter. Porter trying to maneuver around Earls. Gets it to Davis. Davis tried to chip it over to Delicott. Just unlucky there. Nice sequence leading up to that opportunity.
Richmond was looking for a handball on that one.
Here's Shinosky playing it off to Yambi. Off to Kemp. Kemp on the near side. He's got all kinds of time. Now he slides it ahead. Right back to Kemp. Nice little give and go here. Kemp puts it into the middle, and it's knocked away at the last minute by, I believe, Danny Earls. Another good sequence there, Mark, building up a little offensive pressure from Richmond.
Well, and now Richmond's getting a yellow card. Is that Davis? Yeah, I believe that's Davis that got a yellow card.
Yep. So George Davis, the fourth, collects.
Well, that is 3 in the first 25 minutes. Normally it takes a little longer for yellow cards to start getting produced. So referee Ted Uncle's not having any of that today. It has been a little bit of a chippy game, a good game.
Yeah.
Nothing dirty. It was a little chippy, so it'll be interesting. Some of these guys are going to have to be a little more cautious from here on out.
Here's Jeffrey into the middle. That's headed away by Pittsburgh and still in play. Settled down by Kemp. Kemp down the near side. His crossing attempt blocked out of play to be a corner kick. This will be the first corner kick this afternoon for Richmond, as you see the kids trying to go after the soccer ball. So it looks like Callahan is going to take this corner kick. So the kickers with an opportunity here to try to knot this thing up. Callahan's corner. Yambi got a head on it, and it's loose in the box, and Lish is able to come up with it.
That was good from Yambi. Again, as like on the Pittsburgh goal, you want to keep the ball alive, and Yambi was able to do that.
Jason Johnson's clearing attempt is blocked by Richmond, but over the end line goal kick for the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. As I mentioned, both these teams coming off losses a week ago. And unfortunately for Pittsburgh, it was their home opener. A brand new stadium up in Pittsburgh, and they fell behind early 2-0 and then tried to make a game of it, but ended up falling 4-3 to Wilmington.
And that stadium has got nothing but positive reviews. Big deal in USL for teams to get their own stadiums. They can start making some money.
So here is Richmond in possession. Here's George Davis IV. Being hounded by Green. Finds Callahan. And Davis IV now will play it back to Shinosky. Connor Shinosky. Rolls it over to Yambi. Well, this is kind of a different-looking Pittsburgh team, as you mentioned, Mark. A little bit more aggressive offensively than what we saw, in my opinion, a couple of weeks ago. What do you think?
Yeah, like I said, they had they're showing that high pressure. The forwards are really putting the defenders under some pressure and making them either play negative balls or square balls or even some just unforced errors. Pittsburgh's doing a really good job with that today.
Here's Kemp, Taylor Kemp. Got some time, now plays it off to George Davis IV. Pittsburgh challenging him, but he hit the referee with his crossing attempt. And that's going to lead to an opportunity for Pittsburgh. Here's Johnson, but he gave it away to Vercoloni.
Good hustle by Johnson there.
Yeah.
He gave up the ball there, but did good hustle in getting that and winning that back for Pittsburgh.
So here are the Riverhounds in possession. Plenty of time. Trying to hook up with Ngwenya. His pass was deflected away, and now Richmond settles and possesses. Here's Jeffrey. Turning away from pressure, now off to Callahan. Rolls it over to Yambi. He'll play it ahead to Kemp. Kemp again, who's been getting a lot of touches on the near side here. Rolls it off to Porter. And we got a whistle.
And they said he was offside. That's one of those where you're not paying attention.
Yeah.
If you're getting an offside that high up, you're just not paying attention to where you are.
Yeah. Those are the unforced errors. He just drives the coach crazy. Because there's no need, as you mentioned, Mark, there's no need for it. So Pittsburgh now with a free kick opportunity. City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of the USL Pro Soccer. 1-0 Pittsburgh on top. Brian Ownby, the only goal getter so far. Lish. That ball's into the box. Yambi is tracking it down, and he'll watch you go over the end line. So Taylor will take the goal kick for the kickers. As we mentioned a couple of weeks ago with these two teams got together, Richmond had such a magical run last year in USL Pro Soccer. You really, and with the turnover on the roster, several players moving to different locations, you just knew that they could not duplicate the season they had a year ago.
Yeah, it really was a special season for us, Mike, only watching a team lose once all year.
Yeah.
And that was in the playoffs.
You get those, about once every 10 years
exactly,
or so?
Exactly. Yeah, they had a great team last year, and Orlando winning the championship again. The USL, even with the one loss that Richmond had, I thought the league was incredibly competitive.
Yeah.
Richmond had several draws, games that they actually probably should have lost, and were able to get some magic and we saw several of those games where they got stoppage time goals and to get the draw or get the win.
Good sportsmanship there from Ownby as he is helping up the Richmond player. And the kicker still, maybe Nate Robinson will rejoin them. Of course, he had a ACL tear, so we're hoping that he'll.
Yeah, it was right near the end of actually at the end of the season. He was training with another club, and tore his ACL, so they could really get him healthy as soon as possible.
Sante quickly putting it into the middle. It's knocked away easily by Pittsburgh. Here's Nguyen now playing it forward. Here's Ortega trying to hook up with Jason Johnson.
That's a good ball to Johnson.
Ooh, and nice job by Vercoloni to shield him away, and Taylor applauding Vercoloni's defensive effort for Richmond.
You know, I like that from Ortega because that was one of those searching balls, just kind of hopeful, and Johnson ran onto it. Very, very good opportunity there for Pittsburgh.
As Richmond sends it over the sideline. So it'll be a throw-in for the Riverhounds. Unofficially, about 14, 15 minutes left in this first half. Again, that's unofficial. Here's another throw-in for Pittsburgh. And Shinosky was there for Richmond, and it's going to be yet another throw-in for the Riverhounds. Here's the ball settled by Johnson. Oh, a nifty move to get himself free. And here's Kerr. Drops it off. Dahlman. Good possession here by Pittsburgh. Ball's rolled over to Earls. Earls takes a look and just threw it into some open space, and then Vercoloni is able to collect that for Richmond. Nice little build-up by Pittsburgh, but then it was just a miss kicked into some open space where nobody was. Here's Kemp settling for Richmond. Rolls it off to Callahan. Callahan off to Jeffrey. Jeffrey playing it wide. Delicott trying to catch up with it. Ball comes loose. Delicott just couldn't quite beat the Pittsburgh player to it.
Almost got the good lucky bounce there.
Yeah. Good job by Yambi. Here's Jason Johnson. Boy, he has got some quick feet because he's made some nifty moves. Here's Kerr. Ooh, and down goes Dahlman. As you can see, he's still down.
Okay, the problem there, Michael, is the linesman was right there, did not raise his flag. The referee made that call from about 20 yards away, so I'm not sure about that one, to be totally honest with you.
And
now he's getting yellow card. Again, though, the linesman didn't raise his flag to call for a foul, and that literally happened 3 yards in front of him.
Right. So Yambi is dealt a yellow card.
So we have 4 yellows in the first half there, Mike.
So it'll be a free kick opportunity for Pittsburgh as Yambi clipped Dahlman. And Matt Dahlman is going to tee this up for the Riverhounds. And Lee pretty calm right now. I don't know if he got off the bench after that call, but pretty calm right now.
Tough ball.
And that ball's headed over the end line. It'll be a goal kick for, well, now I guess they're going to say it's a corner kick.
That was deceptive from Dahlman there because it looked like he just kind of chipped it in there, and the wind kind of took it a little bit.
Yeah,
it bent towards goal, and I didn't think that's where it was heading at first. And now they get another corner kick out of it, which is how they scored their goal.
Right.
Here comes Dahlman again.
So Dahlman will take this corner kick. Yeah, you can see the flags blowing with the wind. That wind can be very deceptive. So Dahlman again, who was successful on the last corner attempt. Here's another one, and
it's almost the exact same play where they scored on. Good play from Taylor to get that up and get that out of danger.
Yeah. So this will be the third corner kick of the first half for the Riverhounds. They're 1 for 2 as far as goal scoring goes. As you look at the Kickers fans.
We got Kickers fan groups everywhere. They're right next to us in the booth and down there in the stands. Good crowd support for the Kickers.
Here's Danny Earls taking this corner kick, it looks like. And the referee is talking to Yambi. Yambi's got to be careful. He's already got 1 yellow. And here's the kick into the box, and it's headed away. And Vercoloni can't keep it in play. We're going to have yet another corner kick.
Just keep knocking them in, huh?
Yep.
I believe that's the 4th one for them.
Yeah.
I think it's 4 and Richmond has 1. So the opportunities are there for Pittsburgh. They've definitely had more scoring opportunities than Richmond.
Dahlman will take this corner kick. As we mentioned on the first corner kick, Ownby made it pay off with a goal. Here's Dahlman again. That ball's headed by Nguyen, and Ball comes down, and it is in play. Nice out, nice hustle that time. Oh.
Well, the referee's overruled him, is calling it a goal kick.
So Taylor will tee it up for Richmond. 1-0, Pittsburgh on top. Ryan Omi, again, the only goal scorer so far this afternoon here at City Stadium. On this Easter weekend, Nguyen and Jeffrey lost possession to Jason Johnson. Here's Johnson. And the ball into the middle. Callahan, he's getting some pressure from Kerr, but he's able to chip it ahead. But well, there's a Pittsburgh player that went down. I think he took a knee in the thigh, if I'm not mistaken. He's still down. Here's Kemp. Off to Porter. Porter plays it now near midfield. Here's Callahan. Off to Vercoloni. Vercoloni gets the return pass, and down he went, no call.
It was a tough one there, Mike.
Yeah.
Nice work, though, from Richmond. And we got an injured player on the far side.
He's been down for a while.
I did not see that at all. I can't see who that is from here.
Yeah, like I say, I think he took a knee in the thigh.
I think it might be Obadiah.
He collided with the Richmond player, and he went down. And he's been down for a while.
Yeah, that's Obadiah, number 23. I totally missed that.
He's holding his knee. Maybe I thought they got him in the thigh area, but it looks like maybe he hit knees, bumped knees with the Richmond player. The Richmond player kept playing. Here's a look at that corner kick opportunity. Well, there's the goal, actually, by Ownby, as you can see. And you can see Ryan Taylor saying, what more can I do?
Yeah, that was Taylor was like, so that was a reflex save. He was able to knock it off the bar.
And then here's an opportunity for George Davis the fourth moments later after that goal. And good defense as Davis just couldn't get much on that shot. As you look at Obadiah getting up. A little frustrated with the injury. Looks like he's going to be okay and stay in.
Yeah, he's just got to walk it off. He'll be okay in a minute or two. And here comes Pittsburgh again after a turnover.
Jason Johnson rolling it over for Nguyen. Cut off and played back to Taylor.
Good play by Vercoloni there. Yeah. A lot of times Nguyen is going to win that foot race. Vercoloni took the exact right angle in order to get inside and win that ball, or Nguyen is in.
And that clearing that pass attempt is knocked away by Jason Johnson. Throw in for the Kickers. As they trail at 1-0. Here's Jambi for Richmond. Off to Porter. Takes a bump. Ball played wide to Asante. Asante trying to maneuver. And now he's got a whole bunch of company around him. Plays it back to Porter. Porter tracks it down. Rolls it over to Jeffrey. Jeffrey for Delicott. And Deli just couldn't quite settle it. Good hustle by Callahan, and it's going to stay in play. Here's Vercoloni.
Vercoloni's dangerous out here.
Good cross, and it's headed away. George Davis IV was getting ready to head that one, but flying by him was, I believe,
that was Obadiah.
Obadiah, yeah. And
comes right onto the field and makes a great defensive play because Davis was right there on the doorstep. Obadiah doesn't make that play. Davis has an open header on net.
So a corner kick for Richmond, their second corner kick this afternoon. Callahan into the box and punched away by Lish. And now controlled by Kemp. Tried to go wide to Callahan. That was cut off nicely by, I believe, Kerr. Ball played ahead. And then Taylor's able to knock it forward. And Callahan's taken down, and the whistle blows. Here's Kemp playing it off now to Jeffrey. Jeffrey's had quite a few touches here in this first half.
Yeah, he has.
Here's Davis IV off to Vercoloni. He'll just drop it back to Shinosky.
With all of Pittsburgh's done, with the opportunities and the good chances they've created, the one person we haven't mentioned a whole lot, Mike, is Johnny Artiega.
Yeah.
Last year's MVP. Has been very, very quiet so far today.
I don't know if that's good or bad. Does that mean the second
Depends on who you're rooting for.
Does that mean the second half he's going to go get a bunch of touches and maybe knock one in for Pittsburgh?
Well, Richmond might be following him real closely, obviously, because he is the league's MVP from last year, so that might open up some space for Ngwenya. Jason Johnson, I think, has had a very good first half.
Yes. Here's Asante. Good quick ball off to Porter.
And this is what Richmond needs to do.
Here's Porter into the middle, and that is going to stay in play and be tracked down by Pittsburgh.
Good play by Anthony Arena there. He knocked that away because Delicate was sitting right there as well.
Here's Jeffrey again. Jeffrey plays it off to Callahan. Callahan chips it forward for Delicate, and it's knocked away. Good hustle by Jeffrey, but Ngwenya is able to keep Pittsburgh in possession. Here's Joseph Ngwenya. Nice ball.
Oh, it's a great ball.
Beautiful ball. Here's an opportunity moving in, and they're saying it's offsides. Ooh, boy.
Ooh, that was a close one. Like to see the replay on that one. Well, what a great ball, though, from Ngwenya.
I think it was Brian Ownby that was whistled for the offsides. There's a look at the official.
And the official wants to talk to Ngwenya.
Yep. USL Pro on Facebook. You can log on to Facebook/USL Pro. You get all you need to know. You can visit you at the USL Pro fan page on Facebook at facebook.com/USL Pro. Get all the news you need about USL Pro.
And Ted Uncle, the center ref, had a nice conversation with Ngwenya, gave him his verbal, so the next time Ngwenya does something wrong, he'll be shown the book.
I thought you were going to say be shown the door, but not quite, huh?
Depends on what he says.
So here is Pittsburgh in possession. Callahan now gets it back for Richmond for Borcoloni. And good hustle that time by Pittsburgh. Here's Obadiah. Off to Ngwenya. Keeps the ball moving over to Dahlman. Dahlman challenged by Kemp, and down he goes. So Pittsburgh with the free kick opportunity. So the ball played forward. And now it's whistle.
And another offside there against Jason Johnson.
Callahan gets the quick restart going to Borcoloni. Off to George Davis, the fourth. Here's Borcoloni. Down he went. Tripped by Jason Johnson. Quick restart for the kickers. There's a ball played into the middle. And Lish is going to field that. Porter acknowledging the nice attempt to get the ball to him on the near side. I agree with you, Mark. It looks like as far as Richmond goes, just a step slower this afternoon than what we saw a couple of weeks ago. Here's Ngwenya. Rolls it off. And down goes the Pittsburgh player. We play on. Here is Jeffries, and it is Porter. Tried to keep it in play, and he did. Pittsburgh had it for a moment, and now a whistle.
Called handball on
Kemp,
and Kemp is saying it hit his jersey.
So it looks like Mike Green will get the restart going for Pittsburgh late in this first half. Here's a look at Mike Green. Plays it ahead. Ortega is hounding Yambi. Turnover, though. That pressure created the turnover. Here's Green off to Dahlman. Good, strong kick for Johnson.
And there's Ownby. He got it.
He flicked it on, and then the cross. Oh, Taylor. Terrific play by Ryan Taylor. Ownby didn't quite get as much on it as he wanted, but still a terrific job by Taylor to read that cross.
Just swapped that out of the air, I tell you. Nice play from Taylor. That was a great ball from Dahlman once again.
Boy, he is so dangerous with those crosses. Here's Asante. Samuel Asante, and it's poked away from him by Arena.
Yeah, that was a really nice play from Taylor there because I didn't see who it was, but Ownby did have someone he was trying to chip the ball to. So good read from Taylor on that. And he did a good job of getting the ball out quickly so Richmond could get on the counterattack. That's one of the things that they haven't been doing this half as well.
Kicker's third corner kick of this first half. I believe they said 2 minutes of stoppage time has been added. So there's an opportunity for Richmond on the corner. And Yambi trying to get ahead on it, but it's cleared away by Pittsburgh. Well, Mark, we had an opportunity last year to see one of the players that was terrific on crosses, and that was Nate Robinson, who again is recovering from a torn ACL. With Dahlman might be the equal of Nate Robinson, if not better, as far as what I've seen as far as crosses and getting Pittsburgh on the offense.
Well, I believe Dahlman led the league in assists last year, so. And now that he's got some more weapons there, that only makes him more dangerous.
George Davis IV tried to hook up with Deli, but couldn't do it. Here's Jeffrey pressuring.
You know, Pittsburgh last year had Artiega, again, who's the league MVP, but they didn't have a whole lot of support for him. Now they got Ownby, now they got Nguyen, now they got Jason Johnson. Collins John, when he comes back from suspension.
Here it is again. Look at Taylor. Well, that's just a terrific read. I don't know who was coming on that.
It was Artiega.
Was it?
Yeah.
There was actually a couple of kickers there, so I'm not sure if that would have worked out, but still, you love to see your goalkeeper come up with a play like that, and there's a miss hit that time by Pittsburgh. Here's Kemp off to Yambi. Yambi teeing it up. Trying to hook up with Porter. He flicks it. Nice job by, I believe that was Arena. Over to Earls. And a collision and a foul. And
Fergaloni's not happy with that.
No, he came together with Arteaga. And there's the whistle to bring an end to our first half. Quite a difference from a couple of weeks ago. Richmond went into the halftime last couple of weeks ago with a 1-0 advantage. This time it's Pittsburgh going into the half with a 1-0 advantage on the goal from Brian Ownby off their first corner kick of the contest. And it was Ownby beating the Richmond player to the ball and nodding it into the back of the net. Real quick, Mark, your thoughts of the first half?
Well, I thought it's a 1-0 lead for Pittsburgh, and it's well-deserved. I thought Pittsburgh carried the play for long periods of time. Richmond had a couple of counterattacks. Richmond is a step slower than they were a couple weeks ago. Lee Calishaw is going to have to get them and tell them they got to move the ball quicker in order to have a chance to get back in the second half.
So it's 1-0 Pittsburgh on top. We're going to take a break. You're watching Richmond Kickers Soccer on YouTube. Back in a minute. Don't forget, fans, that you can still sign up for the 2014 series of Richmond Kickers Youth Soccer Camps all summer long. The soccer camp is a great opportunity for boys and girls to develop their overall playing ability and their love of the sport. Campers will receive unparalleled coaching and instruction from the Kickers players, coaches, and staff in an enjoyable, friendly environment. Camps range from individual to team camps, as well as specialized training in finishing, goalkeeping, and more. Learn more about the camps and how to sign up by logging on to their website at www.richmondkickers.com. The broadcast of this match is authorized by the Richmond Kickers. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of any image, sound, account, or description without the express written permission of the club is strictly prohibited. This afternoon's match was produced for the Kickers by Tourbeau Sports Group, the official video production company of the Kickers. At this time, we would like to take a brief moment to thank some of our major sponsors for the 2014 season, including the main jersey sponsor, Health Diagnostic Laboratory Incorporated, as well as YOGG, the official club's marketing partner. To learn more about all the sponsors for the Kickers, log on to the club's website at www.richmondkickers.com. We would also like to thank the official apparel provider, Adidas, a sponsor of the Richmond Kickers. Be sure to grab your official Kickers merchandise online or right here at City Stadium on game days. And don't miss our next broadcast, as the Kickers will host the Rochester Rhinos. It's a Friday night game on May the 2nd. Starts up at 7 o'clock. You can watch it live right here on the official Richmond Kickers YouTube channel. We're at the half, 1-0 Pittsburgh on top. We'll come back and we'll have the second half for you. Again, it's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Back with the second half from City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. And welcome back to City Stadium here in Richmond, Virginia. Pittsburgh on top 1-0. Brian Ownby with the lone goal of the first half, and it came off the first corner kick opportunity for the Riverhounds. And I believe as far as corner kicks go, Pittsburgh had the advantage, Mark. I believe they had 4 and Richmond had 3. But, of course, as I mentioned, they capitalized on their opportunity with a former Richmond kicker, Brian Ownby, getting the goal for Pittsburgh to give them that 1-0 lead.
Yeah, all 4 of Pittsburgh's quarter kicks were posed a problem for Richmond. Again, Richmond wasn't really dangerous much in that first half, maybe 2 opportunities. Pittsburgh had the run of play, and like I said, I'm curious to see what kind of adjustments Lee Kalishaw is going to make at halftime to try and get Richmond back in this game. But very, very good half from Pittsburgh, maybe arguably the best half of the year so far.
And for Richmond, of course, early on, Michael Seaton went out with what looked to be an ankle injury. That certainly, they brought Delicott in early. Usually, Deli comes in with about maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe at the most, left in the contest. But he's getting an early on the field this afternoon because of that injury. So that also affects, do you expect Deli to play the entire second half, or would you expect to see another change?
I think he's going to have to, because I'm looking at Richmond substitutes, and they really don't have a whole lot of offensive stuff that can come off the bench. They only had 1 forward listed as a substitute, and that's Deli. Now, you have Cristiano Francois, who's on loan from DC United, but he's more of a midfielder. But you look at the other guys, Alex Lee, Shea Spitz, Henry Kalungi, Jalen Robinson. Those are all defensive-minded players. So, if you're Richmond, you're a little bit concerned because you don't really have anybody that can come off the bench today that's going to be able to help you out in the offensive end.
And, of course, they're also missing some guys that have been loan recalls and so forth, a couple of offensive players as well. So you're right. Looks like Deli's going to have to really log a lot of time this afternoon as you look at some of the crowd here. Kind of bundled up. It's a little chilly. Got a little wind going on, but still a beautiful day for soccer. And we're underway with the second half as Richmond is in possession with Vercoloni. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you. Hope you're enjoying our coverage of USL Pro Soccer second half from City Stadium. Yambi rolls it up ahead. And now the ball is played. Delicott sail over his head. Here's Porter. Kyle Porter in. Porter with some opportunity. And here's George Davis the fourth with a shot stopped by Lish.
Really good play by Davis the fourth there, but I thought Kyle Porter had the shot. He cut back to the left, cut the inside, and Pittsburgh was able to recover. Porter had a good look at goal. Still wind up being the best opportunity of the game for Richmond, making Lish come up with the first save. He's really had to make this game.
So this will be Richmond's first corner kick of the second half, obviously. It looks like George Davis the fourth is going to take it.
Needs a ball.
Yeah.
There we go.
And they finally find one. So George Davis the fourth taking this corner kick here for Richmond, trying to knot things up early here in the second half, down 1-0. And the corner kick. And trying to track it down and keep it in play. And just a bad first touch that time from, I believe, Callahan.
Yeah, that was tough when the ball was going away from him very quickly. It's hard to get your balance on that one.
So Pittsburgh will come up with a throw-in. And the Riverhounds ready to get the throw-in going. That's Earls as he hooks up with Ownby. Back to Earls. And along the sideline, nice job by Shinosky to head it, but then it is controlled again by Pittsburgh on the far side.
There comes Zalman's got some space there. Another good ball.
Yep. And Johnson couldn't quite field that. Now the ball, Shinosky heads it back to Taylor. Jason Johnson, of course, a local product, VCU grad. And boy, I tell you, in the first half, he was impressive with some of the footwork he had in keeping possession for Pittsburgh a couple of times.
VCU, for whatever reason, doesn't get the credit it deserves. I mean, Dave Gifford's got a soccer factory down there. He's got several guys that are playing pro. Nate Schiffman, who we're going to see this season, he's a VCU grad, and he's playing for Oklahoma City. There's a couple other guys as well. So VCU's got a very, very good program, always putting guys into the pros.
There's Richmond in possession. Here's Jeffrey, challenged right away. Obadiah, nice challenge that time. And here is Jason Johnson.
Here comes Ownby with that speed. If Johnson finds him, and he does.
Just put it out a little bit too far. Shinosky went down tumbling. He wants a call, but I believe it's just going to be a throw-in.
I think it might be a corner. And if I'm Shinosky, I think he's got a little bit of a right to to be unhappy. It
Yeah.
looked like Ownby did trip him on that. But that was a really good counter again from Pittsburgh. You know, they get the ball deep. Jason Johnson takes a couple of touches and hits it to Ownby, who Ownby has incredible speed, and that was a good play from Shinosky to put that out of play.
And you are correct, Mr. Bushman. It is going to be a corner kick as
Every
Dahlman
once in a while.
tees it up.
Every once in a while.
Pittsburgh's first opportunity in the second half, and Taylor handles that right in front of Nguyen, who just couldn't quite get any lift to get a head on it. Here is George Davis, the fourth, back quickly. And his pass attempt for Asante is taken away easily by Kerr. And now Green plays it back to Lish in goal. Good challenge from Delicott. Good composure by Lish. Yambi is in a battle with Ortega. And here's Ownby. Drops it back nicely to Green. Good ball to Ownby. That's another good ball into the middle, but Shinosky read that as he beat Ortega to the ball. And here's Callahan playing it back to Yambi. Good composure back in the back by the kickers on that play, but then they give it away. Here's Nguyen. Nguyen now, shoulder to shoulder with Callahan. Gets the pass back. Nice job by Callahan as he rides him off the ball and lets the ball go over the end line.
Really good from Callahan. How many battles do you think those guys had in practice last year? They kind of know each other a little bit.
A little bit. There's a good look at Ryan Taylor. In goal once again this afternoon for the Kickers. It's a 1-0 advantage for the Riverhounds, looking for their first win of the young 2014 season. They're 0-2-1 coming into this afternoon. Obadiah played it back. And Shinosky, good job as he was looking to go back to Taylor, but decided better against it. Here's Asante. Asante trying to get free on the near side. Looking to try to dance around. Gets it into the box, and just a little bit too deep into the box that time. Lish handled that with no problem.
It was a good one from Asante, though. It's a little more promising for Richmond. They just need to get one or two of those in there for Deli to get his head on.
Nice job by Arena that time, Mark, of staying with Asante, not letting him get around him. Here's Jeffrey. Off to Kemp. Kemp being challenged by Ortega, but he's able to get it to Yambi. Yambi here to George Davis the fourth, and he's in a foot race with Ownby, and Ownby won that.
And he's calling the foul against Richmond, which does not make Davis very happy.
So the Riverhounds with a free kick. Lish talking to, I believe he's talking to Earls. Second half underway here at City Stadium. Don't forget the Kickers are back in action in a couple of weeks. May the 2nd, it's a Friday night contest. A matchup with Rochester. 7 o'clock start here at City Stadium. And don't forget USL Pro on Twitter. You can follow USL Pro on Twitter for all the latest updates and the latest news from around the USL Pro League. Ball volleyed around, finally settled down. Here's Vercoloni. And he was able to keep it in play.
No.
Oh, I guess not.
Did not look like the ball was completely out, and they're not happy about that at all.
You can see Lee Collishaw and the rest of the coaching staff standing up, and Vercoloni obviously voicing his displeasure.
Now, Richmond got to be prepared. They've got to keep themselves composed. They've gotten upset about a couple of calls here just in these first 7 minutes of the half. They got to keep their composure. That's going to lead to a breakdown, and Pittsburgh could easily get that second goal.
Good look at Danny Earls getting ready to throw it in. Ball flicked down by Johnson. And Callahan was fouled by Johnson. Shinosky with the restart to Yambi. Richmond looking for the equalizer, down 1-0. Here's Yambi rolling it over to Shinosky. Back to Yambi. Shinosky, of course, has had some minutes with DC United. Played back to Taylor, getting some pressure from Jason Johnson. Battle for the ball near midfield. And Pittsburgh is in possession. Here's Earls, takes a peek. Now just drops it off to Omby, who comes back. Omby flicks it ahead to Obadai. His pass trying to hook up with Ortega, and Shinosky will play it back to Taylor. Here's Callahan getting the short ball from Taylor off to Vercoloni. Callahan takes a look, trying to drop that one over the head of Green, but Green played that one well. And a battle going on between Kerr and Kemp. Here's Jambi back to Shinosky. Mark, at least in this early portion of the second half, I think Richmond looks a little bit more on the possessive end than they did on the first half.
Yeah, they're moving forward a little bit better than they did. They played a lot of negative balls that first half, a lot of things back and square, and they're pushing the issue a little bit here.
And George Davis the fourth, nice touch as he was able to deaden that ball. Oh, almost. And then a challenge, and it will be
should be a corner.
Yep.
You jinxed him, Mike. You said he had a great touch, and then he almost fumbles it out. But Richmond gets the corner out of it.
It looks like Vercoloni's going to take the corner. No. Callahan. He did a great job of, there's Kickaroo, by the way. He did a great job of deadening the ball, but like I said, it almost escaped him. So there's Callahan with the corner, and that's headed away with no problem. But good hustle. Here's Callahan on sides. Callahan now puts it into the box. Jambi trying to track it down, and Lish watches that go over the end line. Goal kick. So Lish with the goal kick for the Riverhounds. We mentioned a couple of weeks ago with Pittsburgh adding Nguyen and Omby and, of course, Jason Johnson, that their offensive firepower, and we saw that last week. They lost, but they did score 3 goals. If this team does find some defense, they may be a surprise in this USL Pro standings as this season progresses.
And historically, they have had a great defense.
Right.
So it just takes a couple of games maybe to get oriented. I think they've played very well defensively so far today. Very, very organized. Have not given Richmond very many opportunities at all.
No, you're right, Mark. They've marked well in the back today. This is certainly a different game than what we saw a couple weeks ago. Pittsburgh was very loose in the back, but they're doing a great job of marking in the back as Jambi comes together with Ortega, no call, and Shinosky will get the ball from Jambi. Here's Porter. He takes a look, continues to dribble. Porter still in possession. He's got a run going by Vercoloni, but nice job of finding Asante, but he just couldn't settle it. Well, he had some space too, Mark.
Yeah,
if he could have settled that.
That was a good ball from Porter there.
Here's Vercoloni getting it into Porter on the throw-in. Porter checking now, goes to Vercoloni. Into the box. Now that cross was a little further away than the one we saw a moment ago from George Davis IV, but still cleared away by Pittsburgh. Here's Porter. Gets a shot in, and that's smothered by Lish. But that's what we were talking about, the crosses a moment ago. The one by Davis IV was really too tight. It was too close to the goalkeeper. That cross a moment ago by Richmond was a little further out, and it almost created a scoring opportunity. Here's Ownby. And Mark, a lot of people, fans say that's an easy thing to do, make that cross, but it's not as easy as it looks.
No, I could never do it. That's why I don't play ball anymore.
I was a goalkeeper, so I never did it.
There you go.
Here's Earls with the throw in.
But our partner in crime, Ryan Hines, could do it very easily.
Yes, he could. And Jason Johnson is whistled for the foul, much to his dismay. And here's Shinosky playing it over to Jambi. Up ahead to Kemp. And Kemp, good ball for Porter. He tracks it down. Good quick touch to the middle, and it's cleared away as Deli was making a run. That was a good quick decision by Porter.
Absolutely, it was. Absolutely. That's one of the things I've been wanting him to do is move the ball, make decisions a little fast. He's been a little slow. That was exactly what he needed to do there.
And in possession, Asante. And there'll be a throw in for Vercoloni and the Kickers. trying to get one ahead. That was cleared away. And now Pittsburgh in possession. Here's Ownby.
Johnson did a good job of just out-muscling Porter on that ball. Here comes Ownby down the sideline. He's outrun 3 guys so far.
Ownby, nice ball, dropping it off to Ortega. We told you we didn't hear much from him in the first half. Here's Ortega lining it up. Puts it into the middle, and nice job by Ownby to just turn his chest and get that ball to his goalkeeper, Taylor.
Yeah, thanks for not calling me out early in the first half, Mike, when I said Artiega was last year's MVP. I don't know what I was thinking. It was Angulo.
Right.
Thank you for not calling me out on that. I was wondering what that crazy look was for. So I stand corrected. Somebody on Twitter that's watching the game said, "What are you thinking?" And obviously I wasn't. But still, Artiega was very quiet in that first half.
Yes.
So
and he is very good.
yes.
So throw in for the Riverhounds. It's Danny Earls getting ready to throw it in. Earls has been very solid in the back for the Riverhounds this afternoon. Here's Ortega off to Ownby. Ownby trying to work on Yambi. This is a great matchup. Here's Ownby to the end line and couldn't stop.
He's called a penalty kick on Yambi.
Oh, my goodness. And you can see William Yambi's reaction.
I would love to see the replay of that.
Yambi pleading his case. And now Vercoloni is coming over to voice his opinion. Wow.
That, to me, looked like 2 players going shoulder to shoulder, and they both went down. That is a tough call for Richmond.
So Ortega's going to line up the penalty kick. Well, the Richmond sideline, Lee and company are just very quietly sitting down, but I'm sure they're steaming inside.
Silent rage.
Yes, exactly. So Arteaga looks like he's going to take the penalty kick. Big opportunity here for the Riverhounds. Arteaga's shot is in the back of the net. So Arteaga's goal pushes the Pittsburgh lead 2-0.
Very well taken penalty. Not sure that it should have been taken in the first
place.
Right. We're really going to have to see that replay. I tell you, that's such a tough call.
Arteaga's goal in the 60th minute has pushed the Pittsburgh lead to 2-0. But we've said many times in soccer, 2-0 leads are not the best to have. Although, if you're ahead 2-0, you certainly are enjoying that.
Here's my question about that, Mike. Yambi's already sitting on a yellow card, okay? Now, a lot of times when you have penalties, usually a yellow card is produced. So if that was a penalty kick, chances are it probably should have been a yellow, but it wasn't. So I know I'm second guessing, and I'm sure there's people that are questioning that, but it's a very, very interesting decision. Have to see, like I said, have to see the replay of that, and hopefully, let's see if Richmond can keep it together. And again, though, Pittsburgh deserves to be up. There's no doubt about it. Pittsburgh has been the better team today.
So here's Green for the Riverhounds. And that ball goes out of play to be a throw-in for Pittsburgh. Taylor Kemp was. Here's a look at the penalty kick again from Arteaga.
Yeah, it just has Taylor going the wrong way.
Yep. Taylor guessed wrong, and Arteaga put it in the back of the net. Getting congratulations from Nguyen and Dahlman and the rest of the Riverhounds. So here's Johnson. And that ball's going to roll to Taylor. Ryan Taylor's been kind of unlucky here, the penalty kick, and that's going to inflate his goals against, but it's just in the first goal, of course, was he made a nice reflex save. Unfortunately, Ownby was there. Or if you're a Pittsburgh fan, it was good, but like I say, Taylor's had a couple of unlucky opportunities this afternoon for Richmond.
And offside against the kickers. I do like what Taylor did just a second ago. I don't think the cameras caught it. A couple of the Richmond players had their heads down. Taylor put the ball into play, and he started clapping them, telling them to keep going, keep going. That's what you need. You need some leadership. Somebody needs to step up for Richmond and really get this team going. I want to see a Vercoloni. I want to see a Delicate. I want to see a Callahan really kind of get to it.
We just saw the tail end of that. I don't know. That Ownby obviously is very pleased. Here it is again. Watch this, Mark.
All right.
I just don't see it.
It looks to me like feet got tangled up more than anything else.
But
notice Ownby pumped his fist there.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It just looked to me like feet got tangled up as they were both going for the ball. So that was tough break. I've seen that call made, obviously. It just
Right.
was. I've seen that call not made very many times. So it's, it's really it's the referee's discretion.
Yep. But you also made a good point, Mark. This is a character test here for the kickers now. You can't be head down. There's still plenty of time in this contest for them to get back in it. As you look at, we're waiting on the throw-in from Green. And Earls up ahead to Ownby. Shinowski challenged by Artiega. And now Vercoloni. Porter drops it off. Oh, nice spin move by Vercoloni. Not once, but twice. And down he went. That drew the applause.
Yep, got to get the crowd into it a little bit. Get your players, get your teammates fired up.
He looked like Chris Paul, a little spin move in the NBA on that one. Here's the ball played ahead to Asante. Asante still going, and down he goes. Nope, no foul. We're going to play on. Here's Kerr. Off to Johnson. No good defense that time by Callahan. Here's Porter. Oh, nice job by Johnson. And now George Davis the fourth. Looking for some room off to Delhi. He'll play it back to Kemp. Quickly over to Porter. Porter takes a shot in the back of the net.
That's what we were looking for from Kyle Porter. We were criticizing him a little bit in the first half and even part of the second half. It was taking him too long to make a decision. That's exactly what they needed to do. Great job by Porter.
Porter's third goal of the season has pulled the kickers within one.
What a great goal there, Mike. I couldn't spit it out there. And they needed that. So, this is also a good character test for Pittsburgh.
So 2-1, Richmond slices the deficit in half as Porter lined that up, and he just let a rocket fly for his third goal of the season.
That's what the only time really that Pittsburgh did not do what they needed to do defensively. He had all kinds of room just outside the 18, so nobody closed him down. Porter, go ahead and make that shot there.
It's an innocent-looking play, wasn't it, Mark? I mean,
it was.
He just settled it, and all of a sudden he said, I'm going to tee it up and give it a shot.
It was kind of a melee down on the right-hand side. The ball was bouncing around, and they got it out. Delhi made a good back ball to Porter.
So Kyle Porter with his third goal. He likes playing against Pittsburgh because all three of his goals this season have been against the Riverhounds.
There you go.
Here's Shinowski off to Vercoloni. That's put a little step, a little bit more pep in the step for the kickers.
Yep. Plenty of time, too. 66th minute. And like I said, this is also a good character test for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Being able to hold on to a lead and kill off a game.
Here's Callahan getting the pass from Shinowski. Going long for Delhi, and boy, they have just missed on several over-the-top opportunities. Just either the wind holds it up or just not. Here's a look at the goal again. Watch him just settle this. Boom. Boy, that's a rocket.
That is.
And Lish, you can see Lish.
Nothing you can do about that.
No. There's Lish's reaction. He's very disappointed, but nothing that young man could do about it. Good hustle that time by Earls to keep possession for Pittsburgh. Here's Johnson playing it back to Earls, and then he had a misstep. Here's Asante. Beautiful ball. Delhi looking to tee it up. Off to Asante.
Took too long there. They had a 3v2.
And now Asante trying to go around Earls, and Earls defended him, and it's a goal kick.
No, that was a bad turnover for Pittsburgh, and Asante's got to do a better job there of forcing the issue. They had a 3v2. I actually think he played the ball a little bit early to Delhi.
Yeah.
Well, if I'm Asante, what I'm doing is I'm taking that to the end line, drawing the defender with me, try to cut it back, and that's where Delhi's going to be.
I agree. A lot of fans might say, well, Delhi looked a little confused, but I think you're right, Mark. He just got that pass too early.
And he got it to his feet.
Yeah,
He wants it on his head.
Right, exactly. Yambi and Artiega come together, no call. Here's Jason Johnson. Don't forget, Nike is a proud sponsor of USL Pro. You can follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all the latest Nike soccer information.
Here comes Porter again.
Yep, Johnson took it off his foot. Boy, Johnson has played a strong game for Pittsburgh. Ownby with a nice little drop pass, but there was nobody there. And, well, now we got a whistle.
Yeah, he did pull his jersey a little bit. Kevin Kerr looked like he was going to get the ball. A Richmond player grabbed him by the jersey. That's a good call.
I saw the Pittsburgh bench up in arms about it. I didn't.
And then Lee Kalishaw was up in arms about it, so everybody was up in arms about it.
Well, you won't see many coaching staffs that like officiating, so here's the free kick opportunity from Arena. Here is Jeffrey. Long ball played ahead for Deli. Deli runs through. Can he control it? Yes, he can. Momentarily.
Good ball from Deli.
Great cross, and Asante's header goes right to Lish. Couldn't put, didn't get a lot on it, but great ball by Deli.
I'm sorry, Mike. That's not the play that you think would happen. You think it would be the exact opposite.
Right.
Asante putting it into Deli. It's a great ball from Deli in there. Asante's about 2 inches taller. I think he heads that home, but lot of good intensity from Richmond these past 7 minutes by going down 2 and then getting the goal back. They've looked really good.
Here's Asante again, takes a shove. Poked away from him. Play on, says the center ref, and we will. Here's Omby. Omby trying to get around Vercoloni and does. Vercoloni, though, knocked it out of play to be a throw-in for Pittsburgh.
And we're getting ready to have a sub for Pittsburgh. Number 2, Rob Vincent, is coming in for number 23, Anthony Obadai.
Here's Deli on that cross. What a strong cross. And then, unfortunately, Asante just couldn't quite get enough juice on it to.
Yeah, that was a good sequence there.
Yep.
So Vincent's coming in for Obadai, who I thought's played very well today.
Yeah, yeah. So Rob Vincent into the contest, number 2. Here's Ownby ready to throw it in for Pittsburgh. Ownby goes back to Artiega, and he's offside. Looks like there's a couple of Richmond players warming up. I'm sure we'll see some substitutions. Yellow card. So Dahlman picked up a yellow card.
For time wasting is what they're reporting. I didn't see it.
Here's a turnover. Here's Ngwenya. Good challenge from Callahan. And Vincent with a pass that does get through to Kerr. Here's Arena now rolling it over to Green. Pass for Johnson. Jason Johnson being watched by Yambi. He got free, gets a shot, and that sails over the crossbar. Good job by Jason Johnson to get himself free for a rocket.
Yeah, he made something out of nothing. It wasn't a whole lot there. Was able to hold off Yambi there and get him turned.
Didn't get it on frame, though, and it'll be a goal kick for Ryan Taylor.
Yeah, Johnson and Ownby are those two of the guys that are on loan from Houston. I think if they keep getting minutes for Pittsburgh, I'd like to see, and I think we're going to see what they can do in Major League Soccer. Another example of how well the affiliation agreement between USL Pro and MLS is working. I think it's working very well.
Vercoloni will play it back to Taylor, and he'll knock it towards midfield. Vincent was able to settle it. Now Callahan flicks it ahead. Here's George Davis the 4th, working on Mike Green. Now Ngwenya's coming over to help. Nice job getting the return pass. Davis now to Asante. Here's Jeffrey. Good sequence here. Vercoloni. Richmond building. Here's Porter. Nice ball. Gets the return pass. Porter. Off to Jeffrey. He's going to take a shot. Ooh. That was kind of a knuckler there. It wasn't really
No, missed a little bit, but that was really good build-up from Richmond once again. I would like to, when that sequence started, George Davis the 4th was on the far side there. He only had one defender. I'd like to see him run at that defender and move a little bit quickly. By the time they kept playing the ball laterally and playing it square, the Pittsburgh defense was able to recover. And that was not a bad shot from Jeffrey. You take it from far out. That's what happened with Porter when they got the goal. But I'd like to see Richmond force the issue a little bit, try and get some of those 3v3s or 3v2s. That's going to give you more space because it was a bunch of legs in there. That's kind of hard to break that down.
Exactly. So Lish with the goal kick. Yambi, strong header. And Arena knocks it away for Pittsburgh. And now Ownby, but we have a whistle.
Somebody threw an elbow from Pittsburgh, so it's a Richmond free kick.
Yeah, that Jeffrey shot a moment ago that sailed just wide. It wasn't a rocket like Porter's goal, but it was kind of a knuckler, but it still almost snuck in that upper corner. So here's Yambi. 2-1 Pittsburgh on top here at City Stadium in Richmond, Virginia. Mike Neville and Mark Bushman along with you. Here's Vercoloni. Trying to pass it ahead. Ball's nudged ahead by Porter, but goes right to Vincent. And here comes the counter from number 10, Kerr. Off to Johnson. Over to Ownby. Ownby looking to cross it and does.
Good ball there, Dahlman.
Just flicks it ahead, and Taylor comes off his line and scoops that up with no problem. Vincent battling Asante, quite a size difference there.
Yeah.
Of course, I think everybody's a size difference with Asante.
But he plays big.
Yes, he does. He's played well today. Here's Yambi. Richmond in possession, and Guenya was challenging that play. Now it's over to Vercoloni. Here's Vercoloni. Ownby's watching him. Here's George Davis the fourth. And he's going to roll it over to Porter. Porter gets it quickly into the middle again. Porter is showing much better decision-making as far as getting that ball in quickly on that cross than he did in the first half. I don't know if Lee talked to him, but he's certainly not wasting much time, Mark, in getting those crosses into the middle of the box.
Well, I think what's happened is he's pushed up a little bit. He was a little deeper in the first half, so they pushed him up a little bit, and especially when Pittsburgh went up 2-0, he pushed up even more. And I think that's in his advantage. I've always been a fan of the 2-forward system. I always like the 4-4-2 or it's something along those lines. I think it's very tough in soccer to have just that one target forward type.
USL Pro, every USL Pro regular season and playoff game will stream live on YouTube this season. Features include DVR, chat, and social media interactivity. Subscribe for free to the Richmond Kickers YouTube channel today. So there's a look at Danny Earls for Pittsburgh.
Looks like number 27, Shea Spitz, is getting ready to come in for Richmond. A little more offense there.
So here's Lish with the free kick for the Riverhounds.
As well as Cristiano Francois.
Artiega getting a shot that sails over the goal.
Yeah, so it does look like Coach Kalashaw is going to make a couple of offensive-minded substitutions.
So here's Vercoloni. Lofts it, and it's Earls coming up with it. And now Yambi will track it down. Plays it wide to Kemp. Kemp to Callahan. Callahan looks wide. It's settled by Asante.
Good touch.
Asante into the middle. Here's Deli when he scores! Matthew Delicott from Asante. And that went right between the wickets of the goalkeeper, Lish.
And he goes over and thanks the Richmond faithful there in the corner.
So Matthew Delicott has knotted this thing up at 2 apiece. And Mark, that all started, as you mentioned, with the fine touch by Asante to settle that ball.
Perfect touch by Asante to get that in there. No screw-ups at all there on that one. He played a good ball in. There was a little bit of confusion in the box there. The ball just kind of bounced to Deli. Deli, being the fantastic scorer, longtime veteran, was able to put that ball right between the keeper's legs, right between Lish's legs. And, wow, if you told me 17 minutes ago that Richmond would come back from 2-0 to 2-2, after what we saw those first 60 minutes, I might have doubted you a little bit, Mike, but here we are. It's 2-2 with about 13 minutes to go. Going to be a fun ride.
And we've got a substitution. Number 14, Sidabaka, is into the lineup for Pittsburgh. So we're all knotted up at 2 apiece. Matthew Delicott from Asante. And that shot went right between the wickets of Lish.
And Sidabaka came in for Ownby. Bit of a surprise there.
Oh, boy, really, yeah.
It's wide, it's settled.
Here it is again. Here's the cross by Asante. Now right here, a little.
Asante into the middle.
And just watch the
Here's
smart play
Deli.
by Deli, just a turn and wheel.
Yep, good composure. That's a guy who scored a lot of goals over the years. He knows how to finish the thing off.
I think he's kind of happy.
A little bit.
The Richmond faithful are as
They
well. And they should be.
Well, there's some familiar faces down there.
Yeah. So a 2-2 tie. Here it is one more time.
That was a great touch. It really was.
See, the defender kind of ran past it. Arena, I think it was. And you can see Arena's reaction. Well, momentum is certainly on the Richmond side now.
Yeah, sure has. Sure has swung that way.
Here's Vercoloni getting it to Asante. We told you Asante's played a really strong game today, and he had a great cross, a great touch. Now the ball is played. Here is Arteaga. Back to Kerr. Pittsburgh now looks like they're going to try to get into an offensive frame of mind here. Here's Hidabaka. Into the middle for Johnson. And good defense that time. Arteaga was trying to tee it up, but I think it was Taylor Kemp or Jeffrey. One of them stepped right in front of him just as he was getting ready to tee it up. Here's Dahlman for Pittsburgh. Watched by George Davis IV. And it'll be a throw in for the Riverhounds. We're going to have a fun final 20-some minutes, huh?
I think so.
Again, looking to throw it in.
And the two players that were warming up for Richmond, getting ready to check in, Spitz and Francois, have, I believe, sat back down. So I'm wondering if one of those substitutions was intended for Samuel.
Yeah.
For Asante. And, maybe not.
Sit back down, guys. So here's Richmond in possession. A stirring comeback.
You know, and as I said earlier, I said this is also a really good test for Pittsburgh. You know, being up 2-0 and hoping to kill off the game. Now they're 2-2 on the road, about 10, probably with stoppage time, maybe 13 or 14 minutes left. This is going to show a lot from Pittsburgh, whether they can either kill this game off and get the point, or they're going to try and push forward a little bit to try and get the game winner.
Well, my prediction would be you're sitting 0-2-1 on the season. You want to get that first win. I think they're going to push forward. Here's Deli trying to run another one down, and does. He's double teamed in the corner, and it's going to be a corner
wins
kick.
The corner.
Oh boy, and Arena's not happy, but I thought that was a good call. Good look at the crowd here on hand. Boy, this organization gets a lot of fan support here in the city of Richmond. What are we in, 21st year? I think they're
22nd.
22nd or 22nd. So here's Callahan ready to with the corner. And it's headed away by Vincent. Yeah, I think you're right, Mark. I think it is 22.
At least I got that one right.
Here's Vercoloni back to Taylor.
And considering that it is Easter weekend, it's a holiday weekend, a lot of people on spring break and have traveled away. This is still a very, very good crowd for a Saturday afternoon game. And again, most Richmond games are either Friday or Saturday evenings at 7. So it shows a lot about the Richmond faithful here.
Here's Callahan. He's free, rolls it ahead. Lish coming out and is able to smother it just before George Davis IV got there. And, of course, we wish everyone a happy and safe Easter weekend. Happy Easter. Here's Sidabaka ahead for Johnson, and he was pushed down. That's an easy call. Jeffrey shoved him down. So a 2-0 Pittsburgh advantage has suddenly come into a 2-2 tie.
And now we're going to see Shea Spitz is going to come in for George Davis IV.
And this is, I believe, Spitz's first appearance here at home, at least, for the Kickers. I don't believe he played a couple weeks ago against Pittsburgh.
Don't believe so either.
So here's Dahlman. Lining it up. And Yambi snaps the header down. And Asante is going to be whistled for that foul, I believe. Arteaga is kind of slow to get up.
Good opportunity here for Pittsburgh.
And Asante, good sportsmanship, shaking the hand of Arteaga. So Dahlman will tee this one up. Opportunity here for Pittsburgh.
This is a tricky area. Dahlman could have a go at goal here.
Yeah.
Could try to loft this in one because his crossing ability is so good.
Arteaga is joining him. Let's see what happens. It's going to be Dahlman. And he takes a shot, and Taylor is able to push that one wide of the post.
Taylor saw that really late, unfortunately. Unfortunately for him, he was able to see it at all, but he got a late read on the ball. It was a tough ball from Dahlman there. I think that curved a little bit, took him by surprise.
Boy, he's a talented player, is number 20, Matt Dahlman.
Yeah, he really is. And Francois is getting ready to come in. He's coming in for Samuel Asante, who's had a really, really good game today, I think.
Well, Asante, of course, instrumental in getting this thing tied with a strong cross. So Cristiano Francois into the lineup. So Dahlman getting ready for the corner kick. And the ball's headed, and it hit the top of the bar.
Boy, have they been dangerous on set pieces
Yes,
today, haven't
have.
they, Mike?
Yeah.
I believe that was Dahlman that took that.
It was Dahlman that took the corner, and I'm not sure. I think it might have been Arena that got a head on it. So here's Taylor. He goes wide. Off to Kemp. Kemp playing it forward. Sidabaka now off to Vincent. He spins away from some pressure. There's Dahlman ahead for Nguyen.
Oh, good turn from Nguyen.
And look out, Joseph Nguyen slides it through, and Taylor gobbles that up.
Boy, that was really nice from Nguyen, though. Fake going outside, turn the defender inside. That was really nice from the veteran there.
He's been kind of quiet in this second half. Sidabaka was able to settle it.
Yeah, Richmond's done a good job of raising the intensity. They really have.
Yeah.
Especially these last 25 minutes.
Good challenge from Shinoski. Here's Jeffrey. Off to Francois. And
got caught ball watching
yep.
there.
Here comes Pittsburgh on the counter. Ball played back for Sidabaka. And now Callahan with all kinds of time. He'll dribble to midfield. Tried to slide a pass through for Jeffrey, and it's broken up. And here's Nguyen on the counter. Nguyen, let's see if he tees one up here just outside the 18.
Good play from Yambi.
Still possession, though, for Pittsburgh. Nguyen. Ball continues to move. Here's Sidabaka off to Johnson. Johnson with the cross. And
that's not his specialty. That's not what you want.
Right.
If you're Richmond, that's what you want. You
right.
want Johnson outside trying to knock the ball in rather than inside, where you can be the target player. 87th minute, Michael.
Yep. So Taylor ready to handle the goal kick for Richmond. Here's Francois. Cristiano Francois still in possession.
Another one of the players on loan from DC United.
Yeah. Good hustle that time from Nguyen.
Bad turnover. They've got numbers. They've got a 4v3.
Here's a pass for Nguyen. Nguyen trying to slide by the Shinoski. Pittsburgh looking for a foul. No call. We're going to continue playing. Good counter here. Here's Porter. Porter trying to line one up. Gets a shot that's blocked by Arena.
Now, I got to be honest with you, Michael. I thought that play at the other end was more of a foul on Nguyen than the penalty was. So, but here comes Richmond with a corner. It was a good counter. It was good back and forth action.
I agree with you, Mark. I was waiting for a whistle, to be honest with you.
Yeah, this has really just been a fantastic game to watch today, Mike. Really enjoyed this.
So Porter now taking this corner kick for Richmond, trying to break a 2-2 tie. Is he going to go short corner here with Kemp?
I wouldn't. I don't like those.
Instead, he puts it, that was not well done. Well, here's Jeffrey, and his shot is handled easily by Lish.
No, I just think if you're Richmond, if you have set pieces, Michael, I think you got Shinoski, Yambi, Deli.
Yeah.
You got to put that into play. So,
I agree with you.
Thank you.
Here's Sidabaka for Pittsburgh. He goes to Johnson. Jason Johnson drops it off. Here's Dahlman getting a run. Full steam ahead. Dahlman and Arteaga. And Taylor was trying to keep that from being a corner kick, but to no avail.
Pittsburgh's been dangerous on these all game. Here comes Dahlman again.
Is that Alex Lee warming up? There was a kicker warming up.
Yeah, it is Alex Lee, who we haven't. We saw him a couple weeks ago. Haven't seen him today, obviously. Right. Another University of Maryland product. Richmond's got a few of them out on the field today.
So here's Dahlman with the corner kick opportunity. Into the box. Artiega trying to settle it down, and then Spitz bangs it to midfield for Richmond. Here's Green for Pittsburgh late in this contest. Here's Deli racing, trying to beat Lish. The pass back to Lish was kind of weak. Here's Vincent playing it ahead. And Taylor Kemp keeps it in play. Here's Spitz. Good job of finding Deli. Off to Francois.
He needs to run at the defender there.
And he does.
That cross just swapped that
shot.
out of the air.
Into the middle. It's poked away. And now the counter from Pittsburgh. Sidabaka. Off to Ngwenya. Back to Sidabaka.
Good ball.
Yep. And here's Vincent. Takes a look. Goes wide to Johnson. Johnson hesitates. Still going. Nobody challenging him. Johnson outside the 18. Shot blocked by Vercoloni. And then Johnson pushed Vercoloni down. Boy, I'll tell you, that was dangerous. Johnson, they kept backing up and letting Johnson get some space.
Yeah, I think Ngwenya made a motion to Johnson. He should have made a quicker decision. He had a player on the outside that was wide open. He should have made a quicker decision on that.
So here's Francois playing it back to Vercoloni. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Here's Francois. Francois, a little hesitation. Tries to play it ahead for Porter, and that was cut off nicely by Pittsburgh. Here's Sidabaka. Nice ball to Johnson, but nice job by Shinosky.
Really nice from Shinosky. Richmond's got numbers. They just need to move faster.
And Spitz was taken down, no call. Here's Johnson. Spitz just got to be quicker with the decision-making there. Here's Sidabaka. Challenged. Good. Boy, Johnson.
Good ball.
Like he's got a magnet, because that ball looked like it was heading out of bounds, but he did a great job of touching it down and holding it. Here's Sidabaka on the run. Or excuse me, Kerr.
There's Ngwenya. Got a lot of
Beautiful
space out there.
That was a beautiful ball from Kerr as he finds Ngwenya. Ngwenya to Artiega. Turns. Shot blocked, and Taylor will let it hit and pick it up on the bounce. Home crowd trying to tell the kickers to get moving. They're coaching here. Here's Spitz.
Well, there's still a chance for Richmond to steal 3 points out of this game.
Yeah. Here's Cristiano. Francois plays it wide to Vercoloni. Vercoloni into the box. I think Deli was trying to slide that through.
He did. He tried to dummy that.
Here's Jambi playing it wide to Kemp. Pressure now from Richmond late in this contest. Oh, just over the head of Deli. Here's Johnson. Over to Ngwenya. Ngwenya to midfield. Here's Dahlman with some time and space.
About a minute and a half left.
Porter finally challenges. Here's Kerr. And Shinosky, boy, that was dangerous.
Yeah, Taylor was a bit slow getting off his line on that. He's got to be a more, again, we keep saying decision making. Got to be a little quicker with that. Yep. I've seen way too many times the defender and the goalkeeper decide the other's going to get it. Neither one of them does.
Yep. Kind of like a pop up in the infield, and the pitcher says, "I got it." Catcher says, "I got it." First baseman says, "I got it." Nobody gets it. There's a throw in for Earls. Here's Johnson. Turning. Lofting it ahead. Here's Shinosky.
Down to about the last 30 seconds here. Does Richmond have one more? Does either team have one more chance left in them?
Well, here's an opportunity for Richmond. Throw in. Here's Callahan. Quickly to Spitz. Spitz for Deli, and that's going to sail over the end line for a goal kick.
It was a good thought from Spitz.
And that is it. The referee has blown his whistle. So Pittsburgh looked like they were going to collect their first win of the 2014 season. They had a 2-0 lead, but there's your final 2-2 tie as the Kickers rally with 2 goals to come away with a very huge point and snap their 1-game losing streak with the 2-2 tie here at home as they have a win and now a tie with Pittsburgh in the early going in the early portion of the season with the 2-2 tie.
Yeah, I think that was a fair result there, Mike. I
Yeah,
think Pittsburgh dominated for a good chunk of the game, maybe even the first 2/3 of the game. Richmond made a furious comeback in the last third of it. So, both teams getting a point. If you're Pittsburgh, you want to get a point on the road, obviously. If you're the road team, you always want to get a point on the road. If you can steal 3, that's great. Richmond, you prefer to get the 3 at home, but 2-2 game today is definitely deserved.
You saw the first goal by Porter. Here's the one that knotted it up by Deli on the cross from Asante to make it a 2-2 tie. And that's where it ended as Richmond rallies with 2 second-half goals to pick up the 2-2 tie. So we'll take a quick break and we'll wrap things up here from City Stadium. Once again, the final 2-2. We'll be back to wrap it all up for you. Stay with us. And welcome back, City Stadium. There's your final score. Pittsburgh and Richmond knotted up at 2 apiece. That's how it ends. And like I said, Mark, real quick, it looked like it was going to be Pittsburgh picking up their first win, but both teams showing a good resiliency. Pittsburgh, of course, has to settle for a tie. Nice gutty effort by Richmond to grab a point today.
Absolutely, and I was very impressed with the way Pittsburgh played overall. I know they're disappointed to not steal the 3 points away, but they are starting to look a little better. They still got a little bit of injury problems, but Nguyen showed today what a big pickup he is.
Yep.
Owen coming back. I like what Pittsburgh did for the most part, and I like you said, I like the resiliency of Richmond coming back from 2 goals down, using that home crowd to get them fired up, get the draw today.
So on behalf of our production team and my broadcast partner, Mark Bushman, I'm Mike Neville. Once again, the final score from City Stadium, it's a 2-2 draw. So long from Richmond. Thanks for watching, everybody.